When I originally envisioned Gwent After Dark, and you can look back at all the old shows, one of my main things was to get the community involved, right? Is to highlight people that maybe were unknown at the time, uh, were lesser known people, right? Matter of fact, when I first started, no one had ever heard of McBeard, and his first podcast, if you look at Commander's Horn, it talks about me and King Blacktooth, and I give McBeard a lot of press and then help them get started and whatnot. Now, that's what I want to do, and I'm gonna do the same thing again. But I'm gonna do it every day. I've committed to it. I've cleared my schedule. I've set it up so that I can come to y'all every day. I'm also gonna try to stream on my own channel, Shifu with the Cards, twitch.tv Shifu with the Cards. But that's a different point. Right here, I am here for Siraxia. Gave me this opportunity to do the show for y'all. And hopefully it's one of many content coming from you from the Passive Floor channel. That's why I've dubbed it. It's a channel. We're going to have a lot of cool stuff coming on. You already know from the Passive Floor Championship, the Shoutcaster. Maybe I'll have another Shoutcaster. Who knows what the cards may bring. Maybe Siraxia will fire me. I don't know. But we're going to have a lot of cool stuff. We're going to do daily things. We're going to have contests. We're going to have prizes. But most importantly, what we're going to have is a studio audience that's engaged. So right now, we're not going to have a lot of people. We get back our crowds. We had a lot of people watch us at the beginning, and they lost track. Where'd Shifu go? Did he retire? Did he achieve a state of nirvana and just transcend into the heavens? No. I mean, I may have, but I'm back and now. And so I'm here to help do this again, right? We're going to have a lot of fun. I will have a co-host. In fact, I don't want to spoil his name. He knows who he is. We were going to meet yesterday and kind of go through show prep, but I just kind of moved and things are going hectic. So hopefully he still wants to do this with me. And then I'm going to have maybe rotating guests or hosts. And it's all crazy at this point. But I wanted to start today with just kind of, the start. What's it going to be? Well, we're going to look at, we're going to have like skits and stuff. I think we're going to have some fun stuff with it. We're going to do like, one of my ideas for skits is like a news team or Gwent news team. And then instead of a meteorologist, weatherman, we're going to have a meteorologist, right? So he's going to go through and talk about the current meta, the current decks that are hot. Now, one thing you might know is that Gwent After Dark has always been a hotbed of people taking ideas and then kind of actually doing better than I would have done, quite honestly. Like the talk show format's been done. Matter of fact, the Gwenlemen do a talk show on Thursdays, and they do a good job, So I'm glad that the Gwent After Dark had a chance to really impact the community, right? And that's cool. We did a thing with lore where we tried to talk about lore, and Mule and I were talking about doing the lore segment, and then Grey Boxer and Mule went ahead and patted it off and did a great lore segment they do together. So like my fingerprints and Gwent After Dark's fingerprints are all throughout the Gwent content, plus all the decks and so on and so forth. So what I wanted to do is keep that tradition going, get some new people out there like Freddy Babes, Codexel, BJ the Brave, just to name a few, some people that are kind of on the outlier, they're kind of their niche. Maybe bring them out, maybe bring them all together, establish a community. And one thing I don't want it to be is I don't want it to be elitist. Like I don't want it to be like, oh, my MMR is 7,200, so therefore I'm better than you in every way. No, what I want to do is have a positive vibe, positive community, have a lot of fun, talk about decks, because even if your MMR is 5,200 or your MMR is 2,200. You're still on the same ladder, right? You're still going through the same grind, facing the same decks probably that were taken from other people. So you have your own experience with it. Just because you're not at the top 100 in the world, you can still have fun and have some cool meta decks that you're running into. Or maybe you're not on top 100 because you like to play new creative decks and have fun with that. Maybe we'll do a challenger series where we have other hosts from other shows come in. We'll play them on air, or we'll talk to them about their shows and things like that. I want to try to. What I've always tried to do is bring the community and bring us all into one cohesive unit. That being said, as some of you may or may not know, I have been challenged technically. Like when I first started doing the Passive Flora, Siraxia did all the background for it, the championship, right? And then all I did was talk. It was King Blacktooth and I were the first competitive shoutcasters in Gwent history. Very proud of that. Siraxia has kept me on throughout all the Passive Floras. I've had BJ the Brave was my second co-host. Hopefully get him on this show. And that was crazy and wild. And he did all the technical stuff for it, which is why it was so good. The third Passive Flora Championship shoutcast was a train wreck because I did it all and I didn't know what I was doing and I missed like 8 matches or whatever. and it was a nightmare. The fourth one I did really well. I finally got the hang of it. Saraxia's infinite patience stuck with me, and I really thank him for that. And we kind of got it together. Now I am going to figure out a way to put the Twitch chat up on the screen. I will do that next show. But right now, this is just kind of an introduction of what is Gwent After Dark. What's it going to be? I have a cool little slideshow thing coming up. Pretty proud of. But I am looking at the chat. So as we speak, if you have any questions or any comments, I've got a lot of emails today, a lot of well wishes, and I appreciate that. A lot of people watch my stuff on YouTube. So what happens is I'll make a show. I won't have a lot of people on Twitch because a lot of the base of Gwent is in Europe. And right now in Europe, I believe it's 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning. So it's really Gwent Gwent during dark in Europe. And that was one of the first hurdles I came across with the first show was like, I want to name it Gwent After Dark. Well, Gwent After Dark where? Because right now, it's like 10 o'clock here, my time, so it's where all the talk shows come on, late night talk shows, which I want this to be. In Europe, though, it's 6 hours ahead, 7 hours ahead, so it's much different time. So that's kind of fun. So it's Going After Dark. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a talk show. It's going to be a crowd. It's going to be participation. My co-host in waiting, he has some great ideas about making content, a variety of content for different people, getting everybody, including the new players, the older players, and I really like that. I think we're going to do something like that, a couple different things. But first, let me switch over to the feed here, and by the magic of television, boom, change cameras. Now you might think, wow, he has 2 cameras. Yeah, well, that's also my living room behind me, as you can see. And let me go ahead and hopefully transition smoothly over to the first page of our presentation. All right, so Gwent After Dark, we're back. I'm very excited about this. Very nervous, like all week, putting it together, putting the notes down. Originally, I wanted to start this episode like launching right out, right, doing like a history of the cards. Mythic Pilot, I am so proud you're with us, man. What's up? We're back. Every day, I'll be coming every day. Oh, it really is a Gwent After Dark. Like cinema. No. Every day I'll be appearing on your Twitch channel on Pass the Floor Championship here, doing what I do, talking about Gwent, talking about different things and topics, maybe playing some games, having some guest hosts. Mythic, I'm going to make you appear somehow on this show. You are one of the backbones of this community. You have been there since day one, and you are one of the best people that I know of. So I will make sure to get you on this show some kind of way, even if you don't want to be in here. You deserve it. So introductions and visions. For those of you that are new, changing the channels, flipping through, like, who is this Shifu of the cards? I was around from the beginning, doing content from The Witcher 3. If you look at my YouTube page, Shifu of the Cards, you'll see Witcher 3 Gwent and decks, believe it or not, from Witcher 3. I was a fan. You'll see GamesCon Edition Gwent. You'll see Tabletop Simulator Gwent. All the different eras of Gwent as it's grown unbelievably since the very beginning in Witcher 3 to what we have today. And I made decks in all the itinerations and put them on my YouTube page, Shifu of the Cards. So please check that out. Mythic, you think I'm kidding, but I'm going to get you on. So check it out. I mean, I changed cameras. I'm still looking at this camera, now it's on camera 2. That's right, camera 2. So that's who I am. I've been playing competitive CCGs for, let's see, I'm 23 now. So I've been playing CCGs now for 25 years. No, almost 30 years. God, oof. Playing for a long time. Played Magic the Gathering. I've played almost anything you can think of. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, WWE Raw Deal. I won city championships in that game. Won local championships in Magic. Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh played casually. Oh man, I mean Hearthstone, Minions, Mighty Minions. Oh God, Minion Masters. I'm sorry, Mighty Minions. That's so horrible. I just started playing games. Really fun. Duelist, Faria, all the ones you can think of. Played it. Kung Fu Panda. You laugh. Some of you laugh. So some of you have asked me, how do you get the name Shifu of the Cards? 2 reasons. One, it originally came from Gwent Before Dawn. Yeah, thank you. It originally came from Kung Fu Panda, the TV show. I am a father of 3 beautiful children, and they all like Kung Fu Panda. And Shifu is a character there. Well, also I took Kung Fu in my earlier years, and so Shifu is teacher or master, depending on how you want to do it. So I prefer to think of it as teacher of the cards. So one of the things I like to do is teach. Obviously, you can tell I like to talk. So I like to teach new people how to play the game, some cool decks, some synergies, some things that combine. And the first game I did videos on was Kung Fu Panda. And therefore, Shifu, teacher of the cards. That's how I got my name. I'm trying to look at as we go through the text chat. Minion Masters, yes. Thank you, Sly Cooper. And I'd like to say thank you, Sly Cooper, for being here today. I really appreciate that. It means quite a lot. And everybody else in the audience, thank you very much. And I also know that I probably have some people in the audience that so introductions, right? So Shifu the Cards, I was a big name in Gwent at the beginning, and then I kind of disappeared for a while. There was drama and there was all sorts of stuff happening behind the scenes. But that's not important. Doesn't matter. I'm back now. I decided I was going to walk away. But then I decided, you know what? Gwent After Dark has done a lot already for Gwent. It really has. The fingerprints, like I said, are all throughout it. So why not just do it again? Why not just go forward, make it something fresh, make it a daily talk show, and maybe a podcast, and see where it goes from there. But the important thing is every day, Monday through Friday, be on your Twitch TV, with you on the bathroom, not in a gross way-ish, but just be there, right? So have a good show for you. And we're going to have fun, we're going to laugh, hopefully, we're going to joke around. So the vision is a daily talk show, right? Not been done. The only people that do consistent almost since the beginning, real close to the beginning, were the Commander's Horn team of McBeard and Greyboxer. Differences aside, they have done a great job, and they deserve to be commended for the hard work that they have done, because they've kept at it and been consistent. They've been rewarded for their loyalty, and they've done a good job. You know, we are not friends, but I do support them, and I appreciate their contributions. So, kind of went off on a tangent. What I want to do is a daily show, right? A daily show where I get people like Mythic Pilot. I get people like Mirror Cats, Mule, who you probably never heard of unless you're on the Gwent Discord server. Pull them out. Rysick. And then get some people from the Passiflora, the big names, the 4 champions we've had of the Passiflora. Gum Gum Face Punch, great name. Back to Kill. Codexel and Freddy Babes. Get them in. And then bring the champions in. Have like maybe a champions hour. Maybe have like a old school arcade where you have the best player in, you try to beat him, and you become the Gwent After Dark night champion, and you play. And somebody from the audience, Sly Cooper, says, I can't pass a proper bowel movement without your face talking to me, honestly. Well, you're welcome. And I'm glad we can share this time together, you and I. The toilet is where I do most of my great thinking. Honestly, the toilet is where I have laid out these graphics for you. And I hope you all appreciate the graphics. Hopefully they're not of the toilet quality, but yet of a higher nature. So as you watch this took me a while to put together, sadly. I'm sure it's like a 3-year-old art project could do it, right? But for me, this took a while. Never used it before. Has a little intro with the music. New. All this you see before me was done by Shifu. There you go. And so while you're having your bowel movement, let's move on. So the vision is a daily talk show where we have fun, we look at different topics, and I'll go into this whole week, by the way, we have a topic that we're going to go through the whole week, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. I'll tell you that in a second. That's what the industry we like to call a tease. All right, so let's go to the next thing. All right, so first announcement, and I will always pimp this championship as it is a very special place in my heart, as I am the shoutcaster for it. The Passiflora Championship. If you're not on the Discord server, go ahead and get on it now, and message me at Shifu of the Cards on Twitter, or Gmail, or YouTube, or MySpace, or Swiper, Tinder, whatever it is. Find me there, send me a message, I'll take care of it. Self-burns, right? So, the next tournament for the Passiflora Championship is, as you see on your screen, May 6th. Now, I don't know if my face is covering it up. As I'm kind of thinking right now that my face is covering up that part where it may be. Matter of fact, I'm looking at it, and I think I'm covering it up. But the next tournament is May 6th, and I will shoutcast it May 10th. So you can't see it. Let's see. Maybe I can move it up so you can see it there. There you go. So the next tournament is May 6th and May 10th. I'm overcoming this on the fly, just so you know. It'll be very cool. We will maybe have a back-to-back champion, the first one. We'll Gungam Face Punch. We'll Back to Kill. We'll Codexel, or will Freddy Babes win it all? Will they be repeat champions? Will we have a new champion? Will people from the Gwentlemen, more people from the Gwentlemen make an appearance? They have time now. They can come join us, be a part of our tournament. We're a part of theirs, they can be part of ours. Community. Sense of, we're going to be good together. All right. That's what went next. So the Passiflora is a monthly tournament. We're hosted by Syraxia, who has the patience of a saint. Obviously, he puts up with me, so you know that he does. And it's going to be May 6th, and I will shoutcast it May 10th. That's the big one. Oh, I still didn't. I looked on the screen. I still didn't do it quite right. All right. Wow, didn't quite mean to go that deep on myself. Like I said, it's a train wreck. Okay, I am my own technical producer. When I originally first started doing this, true story. Let's have a moment for us, shall we? Okay. Will I play in the tournament? I never play in the Passiflora. As a matter of fact, good question, Sly Cooper. The very first tournament in Gwent history I was a part of was called Beta Brawl. And I came in 6th. I was in the top 8, finished 6th, 5th, something like that. And I was never in a tournament again because I wanted to go into shoutcasting. But then things happened where I fell out of favor with people with the in-crowd, and I kind of got blackballed a little bit, right? So I decided to just do shoutcasting. And luckily, Syraxia didn't listen to all the shenanigans and kept me on, and hopefully I've done a great job for him. But to answer your question, I will never participate in the Passiflora. However, I will start playing in more tournaments to get my name back out there in the competitive scene. So thank you for that question. I will play in more tournaments. So what's the show going to be about? I even made little bullet points that you see over there. I'm very proud of that. The main thing is going to be fun and interactive. And notice I did it in all crazy letters. Huh? See how fun and interactive that is? Even the title's fun and interactive. So it's going to be fun and interactive. What that means is I'm going to sit there. Yeah. Beta Brawl. Those are the days. Mythic was in that as well. There's some good times, man. There's some great things about the community, especially the Gwent Discord, which I'm no longer a part of, again, for all that craziness. But there's some great things that happen that no one knows about. Like, Gwent is this great game filled with amazing people. It really is. Now, I've had differences with only really 2 people. But the whole community at large is really, really great. And you're going to have disagreements. I mean, you're going to have people that are passionate about something. You're going to butt heads. Things are going to happen. But you got to move past it, right? Like, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be positive, move past it, forgive and forget all that nonsense. We had some great stuff. We had the Beta Brawls. Mythic, you remember the tabletop simulator where we would there was a group of people, I think Mirror Cats, I think Mahakman Guard, I think Mule, and I'm forgetting some names, and I apologize, Ruben, myself. We all built decks on this third-party software. We made Gwent cards and theory crafted before the game even came out, hoping that we would get in. And then we got in, and it was awesome, and we played, and then there was a Beta Brawl, and Beta Brawl 2, hosted by, and I cannot remember his name, it's the life of me, and I apologize. I forgot his name, and I feel bad about it. Anyway, he's hosted by somebody awesome. And and then Syraxia has the Passiflora. And then King Blacktooth and I are the first shoutcasters. And then in the finals, it was McBeard and someone else. I can't remember their name, and I apologize. But it was great, right? So, but one of the things I first started to do is I wanted to have, in that same Gwent Discord, I had an actual channel where people would come in and talk to them live on air, and they could share their stuff, right? We could talk, have fun, joke around, and that's what we did. So we went ahead, and it was fun, man. The community was great. Now, and then CD Projekt Red, really what makes the whole, DeViz, thank you. DeViz was the guy that set up the tournament, really good player. He actually beat me in the first one, knocked me out. Anyway, so Deviz. Shout out to Deviz. But anyway, so it started out like that, and Mythic Pilot's been there since the beginning. Matter of fact, he and Rethaz would fight in Discord, and eventually Rethaz realized how very astute and knowledgeable Mythic was about lore and cards, and some great times had by all. Shout out to Rethaz for always having patience and being with me. Then you have great people like Powell Berza, you have Michael PG, you have all these great people at CDPR that take the time to care about the community. So it's like my honor to do this in way of giving back. And really, nobody may watch these shows. I maybe just do this for just Mythic and I, right? He's probably like, no, this is the last show, motherfucker. I'm not coming back here again. But, this should be time for us. So daily topics and hot decks, which it is an E, Mythic. We're going to look at the decks that we ran across in ladder. Either viewer submitted or me submitted or co-host submitted or forum submitted. And we're going to look at it and we're going to sit there and talk about the decks, the strengths, the weaknesses, maybe a deck of the day, that kind of thing. Really dissect it. Co-host and guest. This is the part where I'm still kind of in the air. Do I have a set co-host and guest or rotating co-host and guest? I'll tell you that I really like the co-host that I was talking to, and I'll just say his name. I hope he doesn't mind. Codexel is, he's going to be my co-host, and he has some great ideas, and we want it to not be this, and not to call people out, but there's certain popular people that just are all MMR based and get this kind of air conceit about them that I don't like, right? Like, I believe that when I was in the Gwent Discord, that's the one thing I didn't like was, my MMR is 1800, your MMR is 1200, therefore my opinions are superior to yours because I know more. No, man, you're doing good. But what you encounter on your step of the ladder and what XYZ encounters on their step of the ladder does not demean what they're going through. It's like, it just pisses me off, no respect for people. So, and I got in trouble because, like, if you use my ideas, like what happened was all my ideas were taken, which is great. That's what they're there for. My ideas are to share with the community to take it. But no one gave me credit. Like, no one said, hey, we're doing this awesome talk show. Shifu the card started it, man. Thanks, Shifu. Nothing like that. It was just taking my ideas and just, saying F you, Shifu. And then when I'd say, hey, man, can you give me a little throwback? They were like, fuck you, basically. So that's where all of the thing lies. So co-host and guests. I want to have a co-host. My first co-host, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this. If you've watched Gwent After Dark before, you know that my first co-host was Ruben VDB. Ruben, if you're out there, you're the best. I hope everything's going well. He's a member of the Gwentelman now. He's moved on, and he has achieved a higher calling. But he was great. And of course, I'm pretty sure I can get old Ruben to come in here and do a couple shows with me. We're going to do the Passive Flora announcements and recaps. So the last champion was Freddy Babes with an amazing monster deck. Freddy Babes is a Twitch TV content creator, so he has his own channel, www.twitch.tv/FreddyBabes. Check it out. He's an exceptionally good player. You should check out his decks. And then the recap. So we're talking about how Freddy Babes won, how he won. Maybe bring him on here to give him his insights. So the next one is May 6th, so we're starting to prep for that, and so on. And establish a passive floor community. That's one of the main things, right? So I want to have a way where we all, like Mythic. Let's say there's somebody out there that I think, here's an example. BJ the Brave. Mentioned him quite a few times. I think he has one of the best streams out there. But no one knows about him because he just hasn't had that limelight. And I really believe that it takes just a flash of limelight on somebody, and if they have the natural talent, they can be a superstar. I believe that with McBeard. He was nobody. He made his first Commander's Horn. I pimped him. You look on the Gwent After Dark. Matter of fact, when he first made Commander's Horn, it was just him. And I reached out to him and I said, hey, man, I would like to be a part of Commander's Horn. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And we were about to become Commander's Horn. But then there was a scheduling conflict. I have it on my emails, but there's a scheduling conflict, and he somehow met Greybox, or they already friends. I don't know how that happened, but they have a magical chemistry. And who said that if I was like the fifth Beatle, right? Commander's Horn is this big deal. I would have been a part of it. It would have been Beard and I. Who knows if we had the same chemistry or what. But then Greybox from him took it off, and God bless him, they've done great with it. But that's just how close it was. And then they went to Poland, and I went to working in a warehouse. No, it was a good time. So I got a chance to experience some really cool stuff. So, and they deserved it. They worked really hard. All right. So then we go down to Established Password. So I want to do that again. I want to try to highlight somebody like McBeard and have them blow up, and then hopefully this time they remember me on their way to the top. They bring me with them. Like, hey, remember Shifu the Cards? He was kind of cool at the time. And that's kind of what I want to do. Grow a community, right? Show people, get some shine on people. Freddy Babes. Kara Strauss TV. Karis TV is another good streamer. There's some really great people. DG Thunder is very good. There's just tons of really good people besides the people you all know about. And then, now here's the thing. Now here's where we get to the pitch, right? Do you want to get your name out there? Do you want to be part of the team? Send me an email right there at shifuthecards@gmail.com. Say, hey, I want to be a co-host. I want to be a guest. I have one guy, Mojo. I have forgotten about you, and I will get Mojo on. He very wants to be a part of it. I have some former champions that want to be a part of it. That we're going to get them on. So everybody that sent me a letter that I haven't responded quite yet to, I'm still trying to process. I got a lot of requests. I was very surprised that the Gwent After Dark still has quite a touchstone with people. Like, people still really care about the show, and that was really awesome. I didn't expect that, honestly. So Mythic, send me an email, get your name out there, and let's make some stars. BJ the Brave, looking at you. Anybody else want to be a part of the show, so we can throw ideas off. And I realize this is a dry show, right? This is an hour long of me just talking. We will have more fun content coming in the next shows and break down some really cool stuff. So I appreciate y'all that have stuck in there and watching it. I know that this is not overly exciting, but I did want to give everybody my vision statement. And I wanted to start the first show by kind of showing, what the show is going to be about. Like, I'm going to put this as my thumbnail, and you click on it and figure out exactly what Gwent After Dark is, was, and shall be. Now, there's a little tease. There's a little tease coming. A little teaser here. This is one of the big deals coming, right? So as you know, there's the Gwentelman. I think there's another team out there. Sort of. I don't know if I think they're more of a collaboration of creators, maybe. Gwent City. Well, is there going to be a Team Passiflora? Let's just say, it's looking like there may be. That's all I'm saying. It's not official. Maybe there's a website coming. Maybe there's a bunch of stuff happening behind the scenes that old Shifu and Saraxi are trying to put together. That's all I'm going to say. Maybe there needs to be a team out there that kind of sneaks up on people. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to leave it there. Just leave it at that. Didn't want to zoom in like that. All right. Now, so what's going to happen next week, right? The next week is going to be a history of Gwent. All right? And it's going to be kind of exciting, right? So we are going to look at all this week, starting tomorrow. We are going to diagnose classic Gwent. We are going to bring to you the very cards that are the backbone of our beloved game. And I did that by bringing you some of you may know this, some of you may not. These are actual Gwent cards. Actual Gwent cards that you can get from playing The Witcher 3. I know a lot of you that are Gwent fans are like, yes, we know what it is, Shifu. Like, who doesn't know? Maybe some don't. So, for those of you that are new to Gwent, right, and are playing the polished game you see before you, that the fellows and ladies at CDPR have worked so hard to give you, there was Witcher 3 Gwent. And in Witcher 3 Gwent, what you had to do is, first of all, if you haven't played The Witcher 3, now, I realize there are some collectible card fans out there, right, that are huge, just play the next CCG. And Gwent is the best one out there by far. I think everyone would admit that, they're being honest with themselves. Hearthstone has released Um, Journey to Angora, which is fun. It's a fun expansion. I've been playing it a lot lately because it just brings a lot of fun to it. But as I've been playing it, I've noticed one thing. It's just RNG based. Like there's not the tactical decision making and resource management you need. You can't outplay your opponent and beat them even if they have a better draw than you. In Gwent you can, most certainly. We all know that. You totally outplay your opponent based on how you play cards, where you play them, how you force a mulligan, how you force them to pass early, and so on and so forth. But before all that, I know there's a lot of Northern Realms fans, right? So this was the first. This is the actual card you get from playing The Witcher. As you walked around in Letho of Gullet, for those of you who played The Witcher 2, as you walked around The Witcher 3 in this amazing story that CDPR did, shout out to Sepkowski who wrote these amazing novels that it's all based off of. But as you went around and did these quests and fought these monsters, you had various inns you could buy Gwent cards, like this. And then you build a Gwent deck, and you go ahead and you play other people, and you play innkeepers and NPCs and stuff like that, and you became this awesome Gwent player. And I remember at the time I worked at Best Buy, and I was like, God, I hope Gwent comes into a real game. It'd be better, the best thing ever. And they took that great game that I still love to play because I have the cards, and they made it better in every way, and made it just keeps it's crazy, right? Like I'm not getting paid by CDPR. CDPR has not sent me $1, and they never will. They haven't sent me to Poland. I hope they do. Because look, if they need a shoutcaster, I mean, come on, seriously. Know what I'm saying? Anyway, but they haven't paid me anything, right? But it's every time they make a change, it actually makes it better. And how often can you say that about a card game? You can't. All right. So anyway, enough about that. So this is Nilfgaard, right? And the cards are just different than the normal cards. They're thinner, cool art. Letho of Gullet. By the way, speaking of Letho of Gullet, if you haven't played The Witcher 2, Assassination of Kings, which I'm going to scare everybody here. I actually bought an Xbox One to play the Assassination of Kings backwards compatible 360 game. I bought an Xbox One just to play a game that was like, 8-10 years old? And I loved it. It was amazing. I can't play on keyboard and mouse. I'm not very good at it. Obviously, you see how I put together a slideshow. It looks like a 5-year-old did it. But I played it. It was the most amazing game I've ever played. Even better story-wise, main arc-wise than Witcher 3, although Witcher 3's downloadable content blows everything out the water, and then gameplay, graphics, everything way better on Witcher 3. Anyway, let me bring that up is Letho of Gullet, phenomenal character, and I'm just curious out there in the audience, those of you who still watching, haven't put you to sleep yet, how many of you fought him, or how many of you let him live? Discuss. Alright, so anyway, you play The Witcher 3, and at that time, when you played The Witcher and Gwent, to give you a little sneak preview of the content tomorrow, just to give you an idea for those newbies out there who have only seen First Light. It used to be called Clear Weather, and it didn't have a rally effect. It just cleared weather. So, and at that time, you could have 3 Commander's Horns in your deck, which wasn't seen as anything completely broken. But the main thing is you could have 3 decoys in your deck that now look completely broken. But let me tell you something, as someone that played it here recently, it makes it a lot of fun to play with decoys. Now granted, it's all about who draws spies to win, so in that way, the changes were very necessary as they made it so that, it wasn't just a who drew best won, because inevitably if you won spies, you could draw, and you just outpoint your opponent fairly easily. But there you go. Witcher 3, if you can get your hands on them, do it. It's well worth it. Let's see. I just lost train of thought. So we're going to go through there. We're going to diagnose all of the Witcher 3 cards. We're going to look at all the different factions, monsters. We're going to look at a lot of their muster abilities they had back then. We're going to look at how it's changed. We'll look at the current monster decks. I think that's maybe what we'll do. We'll look at the current, the monster decks of the past versus the current monster decks. Nilfgaard, my God. Monster really hasn't changed too much, honestly. Monsters still basically, we're going to swarm the board on you. Nilfgaard's changed completely. It's crazy. It's nowhere near the same. So is Northern Realms. Skellige is very different. Soytail is exceptionally different. So all really changed. But monsters kind of really been the same thing about mustard, weather, effects, that kind of stuff. They have some new cards that change them quite a bit. But anyway, that being said, let's look at the whole slideshow. And that's what I put together, guys. Look at that. Shifu the cards, branching out into the old technology tree. That took me quite a while to put together. And then I got to put one together every day for y'all. And I'm going to be honest with you, if you expect some amazingly different looking slideshow every day, you're out of your mind. Because Shifu the cards has a Shifu of the job and Shifu of the family. So I'll do the best I can, and I'll try to make it like this. There's a reason people only do it once a week. I'm trying to do this once a day. So, yeah, give Shifu a break. It may not be the most cutting edge, graphically intensive thing you've ever seen, but it will be from my heart. And that's all you can ask. At this point, I like to open up to any kind of audience participation, any kind of decks you want to talk about, any kind of fun stuff. Anybody out there? No, I'm kidding. So yeah, that's basically what it is, guys and gals. This was the original Gwent content coming back, rebranded, and daily. So tomorrow we're going to be back with some more stuff. And it's going to be fun, and it's going to be a history of Gwent. We're going to look back at Gwent. Then we're going to look to the future. And then hopefully I have a co-host that can actually talk, so it's not all on me to carry it for an hour of talking, which is very difficult when you're not playing the game. Playing the game, I can just play the game and 30 minutes are up, and we're done. That being said, a special announcement tomorrow on www.twitch.tv/Shifu of the Cards, my channel. I will be playing the Xbox One's version of Gwent on my free-to-play account and trying to see how far I can get on a free-to-play without spending any money. My other account, I got to rank 15 on Legend. I got to top 50, but then I just kind of stopped playing because unless I know there's going to be an end result, just not going to do it. So, Northern Realms. I just see in chat Northern Realms. Is there a question about Northern Realms? Northern Realms has changed quite a bit from the initial. And it's funny, I'll bring this up. My son, Death the Loving, you might remember him from the very first appearance of Gwent After Dark. The dumpster fire first episode of Gwent After Dark. And if you really look at that episode to this one, I don't know if you ever read comic books, some of you read comic books, but in comic book history, they have the first version of comic book, right? When they relaunch it, they call it Volume 2, and then they 1 through whatever. Basically a way to keep people's interest. Because, when I was reading comics in the 80s and 90s, you got to Avengers number 372 or something, and people were like, how am I going to catch up with all that back history? So you're not going to find a lot of people that want to buy Avengers 373 versus you stop it and relaunch it, Volume 2, Avengers number 1, and collectors are like, I got to get my hands on it. If you look at the first Gwent After Dark with my son, Death the Loving, and Shannon Falcon, and a horrible technical, and I hope it's better technically. I don't know about the volume or whatnot. I'm still working on some things. If you look at how bad it was then to this, it's like a world of difference, right? But my son, Death the Loving, which is the greatest name any of us ever come up with on a MMO, right? He was a very good Gwent player. As a matter of fact, when he was one of the original people that played on the tabletop simulator. So there's like a group of us that played even before the game came out, like the OG, the original Gwenters. And he was one of them. He just doesn't play anymore, but he was one of them. And his deck was monsters. He made a monster swarm before swarm was a thing. He made a monster weather at the same time I did. I became known for it because I made videos and he had to go to school, right? But anyway, he's very good. And he also hated Northern Realms. One of the original matchups we had on that tabletop simulator, as a matter of fact, is his monster weather versus my control Northern Realms with catapults. Which the reason I bring that up, not only because I love my son, but because I'm making a budget free-to-play catapult siege deck on the Xbox tomorrow to play. I really like it. Very fun. And we'll talk about it tomorrow night on Gwent After Dark. But anyway, and then he was actually also one of my very popular decks early in Gwent's infancy was my Monster XL, which has almost 1,000 views, which is big for me, was a lot based off of a deck Tony, Death the Loving made on his. So, you know, he's been one of the innovators of Gwent too. And I see that we're starting to draw to an end here. Anyway, so Northern Realms is all I see. So I don't know how to answer that question or not, but it got me on a tangent. Feel free, y'all, if y'all are in here, just talk to me. Say something like, hey, I love your show. You look amazing. You know, all these things I'll take. Also, you know, got this. So, looking good. Of course, you've seen the bracelet a few times. I sell out, dude. I sell out totally for this game. And I just want to say, you know, how do I end this, right? It'll be every day. It'll be with guest hosts. I may get my son, Death the Loving, to appear, co-host, call in, guest host one day. My fiance, Katie, Ruby Bard, as her screen name. She was the one on Gwent After Dark episode 2. She was the one that did a lore segment with me and was very, very popular, and then launched later on Grey Boxer and Mule doing a lore segment that Mule and I were going to do. And their own thing. And listen, I could have, long time I've been trying to relaunch Gwent After Dark, waiting for a lot of different things, and I had a lot of bitterness about how it was taken and how I wasn't given credit for a lot of things that I did. I am really proud of the fact that my son, my fiance, my family stuck with me through the hard times and believed my friends, Hit Squad, believed in me and this to keep it going and say, just do it. Just don't worry about, you know, because look, a lot of these things that I'm going to do here, you're going to see in different shows, right? You're going to see